Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of That's So Matthew. Today, I am so excited to have a very special guest here with me today. Say hi.
Hi.
And what do you do? Where are you from? Tell the listeners a little bit more about you.
Well, I'm Sparkling Ava from Instagram. I'm an Ava Colfer fan page. She's from Saints to the Max. I make edits for her and a few other people like Skycast, Navia Robinson, other people. And it's nothing like professional. I don't do those really fancy video edits, just picture ones. And I'm from
they're pretty
California.
fancy.
Yeah.
They're pretty fancy, so in my opinion.
Thank you.
This is really exposing myself, and I don't want any of the listeners to come at me, but back in the day, it was like 2017. It was like right when the show came out. I used to have a Riverdale fan page. I know it's
Really?
cringy. Don't laugh at me, everyone.
It's okay.
But I honestly had a blast with it. It was kind of fun, but it's just weird. I can't even believe I had that. But now I have a podcast, so I think that's more professional. And
That's way
also the
better.
podcast, this is episode 95 of the podcast. That's kind of crazy to me. We're getting really close to 100, and I was just talking to you before we started recording. I have no idea what to talk about for episode 100.
Ooh, maybe the upcoming Disney Channel original movie Spin. You better watch it on premiere night. Everyone, this is to everyone. We can't let it flop like our topic Upside Down Magic did. That only got 1.3 million viewers. At least
Yeah,
it's higher than what Kim Possible got, but it's still pretty bad in the ratings.
I agree. We need to get this movie. Like, I wish that we could like make a movie chart, like, like podcast charts or like music charts. I wish you could like make a TV premiere chart because we need Spin to just do amazing. It is one of the DCOMs that I have not like been as excited about like ever. Like, I've never been this excited, I think, for a DCOM premiere in like 5 years.
I was pretty excited when Zombies 2 was just coming out. I remember like listening to all the music. I really loved it. And
Yeah,
speaking of that, I think he has an episode on it.
I do. I do. Zombies
Yes.
and Zombies 2 are out now. The first Zombies is like an OG That's So Matthew episode. I have not listened to that episode in like, oh God, probably like 2 years, probably since it came out like over 2 years ago. But I just did Zombies 2 about a little over a month ago. So that episode is out wherever you get your podcasts. But without further ado, I think we should honestly get right into today's topic, Upside Down Magic. But before we get
Yes.
into it, this is a new thing that I'm doing here on the podcast. I ask the guest why they picked this specific topic. Do you have like a reasoning behind your choice today?
Yes, because I really enjoyed this movie when it came out, and I just love the cast. And fun fact, I think I've
Um,
been noticed by most of the cast. And if I tag them on my story, I really hope they can like listen to this episode.
yeah, no, that'd be so cool. I also like another thing. This has nothing to do with what you just said, so I kind of feel bad. But I just want to like
It's
ask my
okay.
listeners, what would you guys think if I was able to get like a Disney Channel person, whether it be a Disney Channel star, writer, director, here on the podcast? Would that be interesting to you? Because I really want to do it. Like, I want to go for it.
Oh shit, yeah, go for it. I want to see that actually.
Like, I don't know who it would be, like, whatsoever. Like, I actually did DM someone on Instagram and they did respond. However, they said no.
Who was it?
So we're gonna
Or
spill the tea. It was Lisa Arch, who you probably have no idea who that is. She was in Austin and Ally and Corey in the House. And she was in Hannah Montana as well. She was Austin's like manager, like Demonica or something like that.
oh yeah, I don't know her actually.
Yeah, but so that was who I DM'd. She got back to me. However, it wasn't no, but honestly, she responded, so I have to give her credit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually
So
good.
let's honestly get into it without further ado. I said that like 10 minutes ago. Let's do this. So, Disney Channel's Upside Down Magic originally premiered on July 31st, 2020, and this episode is coming out on July 30th, 2021. So, it's about just in time for the 1 year anniversary of this movie. This was
Yes,
a very interesting choice when we originally planned this episode. Gonna say like honestly like 3 or 4 months ago. I
on
was
March
really
26th.
excited because I wanted to talk about this movie because I hadn't talked about it yet here on the podcast. And I could not figure out why. And then when I rewatched, I kind of figured out like I needed some time to process it. And I think that the 1 year anniversary was just a perfect opportunity
Of
to like talk
course.
about it. It is based off of a book by several authors, Sarah Malinowski, Lauren Miracle, and Emily Jenkins. And the film stars Isabella Rose and Sienna. I always butcher her name. And
Agudong.
Agadong. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Literally, I swear the people in DCOMs always have like the hardest last names, and I feel so bad because I feel like I butcher them like
It's
most of the
okay.
time.
It's all good.
It's all good. Right. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're fine. So this movie is basically a adaptation of it is an adaptation of the book. We have Nori, aka Eleanor, who and Rena, Rena, I
Yeah.
yeah. And they have magical powers. So we have Nori who can transform into animals, and the other one can control fire. So that's super exciting. I'm going to be honest, I usually am not a huge fan of like the magical decoms. Like, I don't know, is that like bad to say?
No.
Do you
We all
like
have different opinions.
agree or how do you feel, honestly?
I actually really like the magic decoms, like Descendants, obviously, and
Okay,
this.
I like Descendants, but I feel like some of the other ones for me, maybe it's just because they've kind of just become the norm. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
like repetitive.
yeah, because we haven't really TBH like haven't gotten like just like a regular high schooler decom in like forever. So that's why I'm so excited for Spin, honestly.
Same.
Like it's honestly, like I said, I'm gonna say this 500 times because I'm so excited for it. I just am really, really looking forward to it. And we're gonna promote it until the day it airs. And even after that, we're gonna keep it going because I feel like it deserves all of the love. And
Of course.
yeah, so this is the decom that we're talking about, Upside Down Magic. And so here is my first thing that I want to talk about with the plot. And I have seen this point made. I think I saw it on a TikTok. I have kind of just seen everything. So someone said that this is basically Disney's attempt at a Harry Potter. How do you feel about that?
Everyone says that.
Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me hear it.
Honestly, yeah. And the execution was pretty good, in my opinion.
That's fair. I agree. I think it was this is going to sound so bad. And I promise you, I'm not trying to make it sound bad, but I feel like Harry Potter is kind of like its own, it's kind of geared towards more like adulty or a specific fan base, if you know what I mean. Like the Harry Potter fan
Yeah,
base.
I
I don't
kind
know
of
if they have a
agree.
name, but those people, it's very catered towards them. But I feel like this movie does a really good job at catering to multiple groups and for kids. I think this is more kid friendly. Agree to disagree, but I think that this is honestly rather good for
I
kids and
agree.
it was executed good. I mean, there were some weak parts which we'll get to, but I just feel like this works like in the Disney Channel realm with the magic school and stuff. So
It
I
does.
have to just put that out there right away. That was one of the first things that I have in my notes because I see it everywhere. And so yeah, first thoughts out of the way. We think that so far we've established it's a pretty good adaptation or attempt. So we
Yes.
have another brief point of the thing I wanted to just get out of the way. We have 4 classes for the students, which I guess you could consider similar to a Hogwarts house if you want to go that route. We've got the
Yeah,
flares who can create fire. We have the fluxers,
they're my
the
favorite.
flyers. I don't know which one's my favorite, honestly. The fuzzy
Yeah,
one is
the
just weird. It
flares.
reminds me of a furry. I'm sorry.
Oh
No
my God,
hate to
other people
furries.
called them furries.
No hate to
Yeah.
furries,
I
but
mean, I thought,
just I don't know.
yeah, that's funny though. I thought they were furries at first,
I think I'm
like
gonna
when
have to
it
go with
premiered.
flares. Flares are probably my favorite.
Same. I love them.
I love
I want to
them.
be one
Me
actually.
too. Me too. That'd be so cool. All right. So first character is Isabella Rose's character, Nori, she is 13 and she is a fluxer. However, she's an abnormal fluxer. And she is put into the UDM program, which is basically like the outcast program, which I hate like saying that, but like it's basically what it is, right?
Yeah.
They like get excluded for absolutely no reason. I mean, they say like they're like not ready to be trained or whatever. Like they just like banish them into some basement with some, no offense, a weird teacher who like kind of annoyed me at times, you know?
Yeah, it kind of remind me of zombies when the zombies had to go to the basement for their classes.
Yeah,
And the
yeah, that's a
principal
good
and teachers were
parallel.
so mean.
That's actually a
Yeah.
really good parallel. It very interesting. That's I don't know. I just felt like really like odd about it because it's like, oh, we're gonna separate you into these classes, and then no, you aren't good enough, so you're gonna go to the basement. That's what it felt
Yeah.
like
And the
to me.
principal, yep, the principal and teachers were really mean. I would not want them.
I agree. Honestly, Vicki Lewis's character, first off, I love Vicki Lewis. She is iconic. She has been in quite a few projects. She has voiced so many characters. And I actually know her from a musical. She was in the musical Anastasia, which is one of my favorite musicals of all time. And
That's pretty
I
cool.
just think that it's very interesting, this character, because that teacher just, ugh, the headmistress annoyed me.
Mm,
But we're talking about Nori
same.
right now. So, Nori, I honestly, here's a hot take. This is gonna, it's nothing against the actress, but this character just really didn't resonate with me. And I can't say I really enjoyed it. Her character, in the sense that she felt like she was like more immature than the rest of them. Does that like, do you kind of get what I'm going for?
Yeah, she kind of acted childish sometimes.
I mean, I respect her, what is she's a fluxer. I respect it. You know, she has Dritten, which is a cat dragon hybrid. That's like her bestie. I love that.
Same.
But I
Yeah.
don't know, like I don't just her character, just something about her character just didn't sit right with me. And like you have the one scene where it's like the audition, I guess you could say, where they separate you and she kind of didn't perform as well. And I think that she was just trying like too hard to like be the best, but she wasn't like being herself. If I had to like give it like a reasoning,
Yep. I agree on that.
I think that she, especially because her best friend, literally, in my opinion, had one of the best powers in like the whole
Yep.
school, and she was like doing so great. I think it just kind of got to her head a little bit. Does that like, is that fair?
Yes, yes.
What did you think? Give me the rundown
Of what?
of her. Like, what did you think?
Of the character herself,
Yes,
Noria. I think she just wanted to fit in.
that's fair.
Yeah.
She's like one of those kids, and I don't know how to say this, but she's like one of those kids like who at school like tries to fit in, but like isn't like her true self while trying to fit in. Is that like kind of fair?
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. It's just like you don't want to I say this like every podcast, so my listener are probably sick of it. I am this huge person and this huge believer of don't change yourself for anyone. And she was changing herself for people. So, that was already getting on my nerves the whole time.
Yeah.
But I'd still feel
Um,
bad for her for being in the UDM. But
same.
I feel like and maybe like helped her a little bit in like a weird way to like kind of be more true to herself. So I
Yeah,
respect it.
honestly.
Um, Next character is her friend, Reina. I think that's her name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Reina? Reina.
It's Reina.
Reina. Okay. That's how it's like spelled phonetically, like looks like it. But like at least this movie doesn't have like basic names. So I have to give them much credit for that. You know how
Yeah,
I
a
am
lot
with
of
my
DCOMs
basic
have generic
names.
ass names.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
no
really like when they
generic
do generic.
names. So this
Yep.
really respect the names here. So she is her best friend, Nori's best friend, and she can manipulate and control fire. Probably my favorite
Amazing.
character in this movie.
Same, she's so pretty.
She's pretty. She also, I love her actress. She has been in this Netflix series No Good Nick. She has been in Nikki, Ricky, Dicky, and Dawn, Sydney to the Max. So many things, honestly. So go
And
her.
Raven's home.
Yes. And
Yeah.
she's my age too. So that's like kind of cool. She's like a month older than I am.
Oh my
So,
God, really? I thought you were older than her.
no, her birthday, I just look because like I have like her pulled up. Her birthday is August 19th, 2004, and mine is September 12th, 2004. So it's a little bit less than a month. And honestly,
Wow.
I just love her. Her character, she also the red uniform for her like class is like such a look.
I know. I actually liked it.
The red is
The
her
red suits
color.
her
The red is her
very
color.
much.
Now, I do want to talk about at some point in this movie, Reina starts seeing this person that isn't there. And people start like really
Oh,
taking it
yes.
to her. Like people take it like really seriously and they like start like kind of thinking of her as an outcast. And so her name is Chandra, who she believes is a fellow Flare. However, it is just I believe they say it's like a spirit embodiment type of thing. And
Probably.
it's kind of like it's like a really like weird like interpretation of like having a like imaginary best friend and it's just like haunting her and she manipulates Reina and possesses her and
Oh, yes.
it's really dramatic but I feel like for her character it's really good and this is another point that I want to make. It almost is like she's kind of replacing her friend Nori but she's not.
Oh, no. She got annoyed with Chandra at some points.
I know, but
And
like you
not,
see, it's kind of like almost, I wonder, this makes no sense, but I just had this theory come. Like, what if like Nori kind of like saw that, but I know she didn't. She would like get really mad, and I feel like she would change herself even more, which is a big no-no.
oh, no. I'm glad she can see it. Or she could have seen it. I don't know.
Yeah, I just honestly, the character, Chef's Kiss, my favorite character hands down. And you already said that you agree, so I am very
Yeah.
happy.
Oh, and Chandra's played by Yasmin Fletcher, who was also in Andy Mack for a little bit. And she's really pretty.
Yes. Fun story about Andy Mack. I was like really, really in an Andy Mack mood a couple days ago, and I was like, I'm gonna go watch it on Disney Plus. Well, most of the episodes aren't there.
Oh, I'm so mad about that. Fuck you, Disney Plus.
Okay, I agree, like that guy was totally in the wrong, but like if they could just edit those specific scenes out,
Yeah, honestly.
even
He's
if
the
the
fucking
episodes are
reason.
shorter, like I think that it would just because like most of the show isn't there. And like I was just really, really sad because I really wanted to watch Andy Mack like all the way through. Like I wanted to start from the beginning and go all the way to the end. And I
Say no,
couldn't.
I had to live off fucking illegal websites.
Yeah. Which we're not condoning, but if you do it, we're not judging.
I did it every week with Raven's Home and Singing to the Max's new episodes when they were airing. It was a good
Um,
time.
as you should. As you should. I may or may not do that for the iCarly reboot.
Mm.
May or may not.
Which I still need to see. Is
Um,
it good?
it's pretty good. I mean, it could be better. It could be worse.
Mm. I still
So
haven't seen the original.
the original was not always my favorite. It was my sister's favorite, but I respect the reboot. I do.
Mm.
So next character that we're going to talk about is Bud, who is the teacher, and he's like a groundskeeper, but he's also the teacher of the UDM program, which is the same program that Nori's in, and he is actually a furry, not a furry, a fuzzy. And
Yeah.
so here's my problem with ooh, what was that noise in my microphone? What is that? So here's my
Fine.
problem with his character. He gives me like really like creepy man vibes.
You pedophile. Oh shit.
Kind of, I don't know. It's just like weird. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's the singing, the fuzzy, not the furry. Just like it's weird to me. I don't know. Like, I don't hate his character. He just felt it felt out of place, or like I didn't know enough about him.
Mm. To me, he was just like the teacher who tried so hard to be like the chill, cool one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, the teacher that's like kind of cool, but like isn't like super cool, but like thinks he's really cool. I get it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
definitely a couple teachers that I can think of like that. And those teachers, no offense, that like makes thinking that they are cool makes them less cool for me.
Exactly. And no hate to the actor, by the way.
Yeah. No. Oh, I just always want to make this clear. I am never hating on the actor. I'm always like, if I'm hating, it's like hating on the character, and it's not hating
Of
on their
course.
acting. It's just how it was written, and also not hating on the writer. It's just not for me. Everyone has different opinions. And as you know, as I am almost 100 episodes into this podcast, I have a lot of opinions. So
Yes.
there you go. Next character we're going to talk about is Eli Samahoy,
It's Ellie Samohi.
Ellie Samohi. I am really bad at the names. This
It's
cast
okay.
honestly has some great names though. He
I
was
know. Yeah.
in that one show. I can't think of the name. Bizarre Bark, right?
Yeah, season three. Yep.
Season 3, hot take, my favorite season.
Really?
You know why? I just realized it the other day. Me and my sister came to this realization. It's because Jake Paul wasn't in it.
Yeah.
I hate
F
him. I'm
Jake Paul.
sorry. I can't stand him for the and
Yeah.
anything. I hate him. Hate is a strong word. I just can't do him. I hate him. I don't think he is ever done anything good.
Yeah. Stan Olivia Rodrigo though.
Yeah.
And stream Sour Besties.
Oh yes. Sour is my album of the summer. So everyone go
Yes.
stream it. So his character is also a flare, but he's an abnormal
Yep.
flare, which puts him in the UDM program along with Nori. And so he is abnormal in the sense that he makes smoke instead of fire. So it's like
Yeah.
almost a really weird thing. It's almost like it's like I feel like they're trying to like hint at like potentially like him like being a smoker kind of like thing, but like a kid, because it's like his power, it's his flair. It's just like really weird. I don't know, like
Yeah.
you kind of get what I mean. It's like really it's weird, but his character, I liked his character. I always like his characters because I feel like his characters are always just living their best life. They don't like
Yeah.
really give two shits about what's going on around them.
Yeah. I kind of feel like he had a little crush on that other girl, Pepper, who we'll talk about later.
Yes.
He always wanted to like impress her
That's
with the
literally
high
who I was going
fives.
to talk about next. Allison Fernandez plays Pepper, who is a flicker, but she's an abnormal flicker, which, as you guys know, puts them in the UDM program, and she pushes things away from her.
Yeah.
Allison Fernandez, I was like, where do I know her from? Where do I know her from? She looks so familiar. Well, she was in Once Upon a Time season 7, which you guys know is like my one of my all-time favorite shows. I'm currently rewatching it right now for like the
I bet.
500th time because I don't know, I have nothing better to do right now.
Yeah.
But her character, I wish we got more from her. Is that a hot take?
Same.
I feel like she was just kind of there, and I hate when movies do that because the actors and actresses deserve better, especially because she was like a main character, but it was just like really weird because we didn't get too much from her, but we, like we said, we are thinking that he had a crush on her. He never like officially said it though, right? I don't think he did.
Yeah.
It's just implied.
Yep.
But truthfully, one of my favorite characters in this movie, even though we didn't get much from her. I just respect her
Yeah.
actress, sorry, and I her character also, it's like one of the only flickers we ever see in this whole movie. So shout out to the flickers.
Yes. I also kind of like her attitude, even though she's kind of sassy.
I feel like the sassy characters always have the best like characters. They just it works good for me.
Yeah, I actually liked her jacket.
And I'm not even a
Yeah,
sassy person. I just like sassy characters. And I think that there's nothing wrong with
same.
that. Um,
Yeah.
the next character that I really want to talk about is Andreas. I think it's
Yep.
Andreas. Who's played by Max Torina. He is an abnormal flyer who basically flies to very high heights and he can't come down without a rope or weight. So they kind of like give like for most of the scenes he'll be wearing like a backpack to like hold him down. And I think it's like super his character, like I would kind of be into the flying thing, but I'd like to come down, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I want to come down too if I flew.
His actor also has been in a couple different projects off the top of my head. I think he was in Raven's Home and Singing to the Max, correct?
Yes, my favorite. And he played Tessa's boyfriend in Raven's Home, which I ship them actually. I don't care what anyone says.
Me too. I ship it. I really
Yes.
do. Um, no, he had a really this movie, this cast, all talented, all talented.
Of
They're all
course.
great. They're all. I have nothing against any of them. I respect
Yeah,
every single one of them.
if any of them are listening, I love you all. Nothing
Yes.
against your characters, by the way.
Yeah, nothing. I
Yes.
might sound like I have something against them, but I promise it. We're cool. We're cool.
Yeah, of course.
So the pretty much the last one that I really want to talk about, since we kind of hated on her already, Vicki Lewis's character, Linda Huntslinger, who is the headmistress. They have like the other like admin boards and like all those characters. Nothing against them. We didn't get too
They're all
much of them.
mean.
They're just all mean, and I don't like them.
Of course. Yeah, I don't like them either.
And so here is my gripe about her. So she just gives me like I'm better than everyone else, so whatever I say goes. I mean,
Oh
she
my
is
God,
the
yeah.
she is the headmistress. Like I respect it. But it's just so annoying. I don't know. I just didn't
Exactly.
like
And she
her.
doesn't, yeah, she doesn't even have powers. She's not better than everyone else. Like, what the fuck? She was just annoying to me
I
and
agree.
so cranky.
She's just like
Yeah.
an older lady who like almost like I feel like she would be a Karen.
Oh my God, yeah, she's a Karen. She
She's like
gives off
a
Karen energy.
magical Karen. That's what I get from her. I don't know. I just can't. I couldn't stand her. I really couldn't.
Same. Yeah.
But as I said, I love Vicki Lewis, so I can't hate. Also, I just realized I never told the listeners about why I probably sound different. Even though you can't really tell, I did get my Invisalign retainers, which are like braces, but not braces because braces kind of scare me
Mhm.
personally. So I have kind of a lisp, but you can't really notice it anymore unless I like say something with like a super SE sound. It kind of sounds a little different. But the
I don't
podcast
notice
is here
it.
to stay. The podcast is here to stay. And like I said,
Of course.
I'm hoping to continue to do new episodes every single week. There's some stuff coming up in my life that might make stuff a little hectic, but I'm really hoping that by the time I go back to school in just a little bit over a month, which makes me want to throw up to say,
Ew, same. I don't want to go
um,
back.
I hopefully will have all my episodes done for August, September, and October, which is a really big stretch, but we're going to make it work, which brings me through spooky season, which is kind of exciting. I have kind of already started planning that, but I still don't even know what I'm talking about for episode 100. So we'll
Oh,
figure it out. Maybe it will be spin. Maybe it'll be something else. Maybe it'll be something cooler. I don't know. We'll find out
I
soon.
would, yes, I would do spin though.
I think I might. I think I might.
Yeah,
So stay tuned, everyone. You'll find out very soon. All right, let's get
yeah,
into the plot of this movie from the very beginning. So we're established at the beginning that Nori has always been a little different and she found her powers pretty early on in her life. We have a little bit of a flashback scene to kick things off.
yeah,
And I was like at first when I first started watching this movie, I like kind of like wasn't into it last year. I don't know what it was. It just like the beginning doesn't like set itself apart in a way, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Like it kind of feels generic at the beginning, but then it gets good towards the end. And or
It
at least
does,
that's my
yes.
opinion. So we jump to the academy pretty early on in the movie, and we also see his name, Griff. I think his name is Griff.
Scruff, I think.
Bud. Where did I
Yeah,
even get Griff?
that's
So
his last name.
he like tells the parents to like go away like right away. Like that's so sus, like so suspicious. Like the parents just walked away too. Like they didn't question it.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Like my
Where
mom, I feel like she would not like allow that.
did you get pedo vibes from that scene?
That scene, I think, is probably what made it a little uncomfy for me.
Mhm. A little bit.
But again, I respect it. His character, like he seems like a kind of a cool guy. It's just little creepy, a little creepy.
Yes,
So
yes.
from there, we have the. I don't know how they are. We gonna say like sorting? Like I feel like that's just like Harry Potter, but we'll call it like the sorting ceremony.
Yeah.
Sure. So we find, like we said, we have the flares, the fluxers, the flyers, and the fuzzies and the flickers.
Yeah.
So that is five. And so they will find out what they are. They'll show off their powers and they'll get sorted in. They'll get a card and it'll magically change because this movie is all about magic. Obviously, it's in the title, Upside Down Magic.
Of course.
So Reina shows off her flare skills while Nori becomes a cat slash dragon thing while
Driven.
trying to turn into a cat. So she kind of goes a little bit wrong. I feel like in this scene, it just kind of shows that she was trying to change herself, or she just wasn't necessarily ready for a big challenge like she was trying to take on, if that makes sense.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like that this whole school seems like the biggest undertaking ever. Like you have to like show off your powers and then all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I don't like how they expect perfection like all the time.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Perfection. I'm a
Yeah. Fuck that.
perfectionist, to be honest, but I feel like still that's too much for me. Too much for me.
Exactly.
And so we find out that Reina is going to be in the Flare program honors, which is super exciting, which means she is pretty advanced. So
Of
really
course.
shout out to her. Um, like also I said my favorite character, so I'm a little bit biased. And then we see that Nori is placed in the Upside Down Magic program, aka the UDM program, and she honestly is kind of like not into it at first.
Yeah. She was ashamed of it and mad about it.
I feel like I probably would too be like as well. And
Yeah.
so people who that don't have perfect abilities, the headmistress considers them to be easy targets for shadow magic, which is basically the evil force of the movie, and that will use their magic against everyone else. So
Yeah.
basically, they are going to use their powers and secretly plan to perfect their abilities while helping Bud on the grounds crew because he is a grounds crew member.
Yep.
And the headmistress, really has no idea or she's unaware of like the magic that's going to be targeting these students. So she's like trying to protect them, but like she's not doing a great job.
Yeah, she was just really mean about it. And this class kind of gives me special ed vibes. No offense to those people.
Yeah, it kind of just seems like they separated them, which I feel like I'm really against. So,
Yeah. And the whole school acted like they were the special ed kids. Yeah.
I agree. Uh, so up next, we kind of get to see that Reina discovers a shadow magic book, and she does not really know much about the shadow magic, which is kind of like bad because that's like pretty much the villain of the movie. And that
Yep.
she learns that Nori and the other UDMs were taught about this, and she wants to strengthen her abilities. And she's using this because people were kind of like belittling her, making fun of her for her powers. So she wants to get better with her powers like right away. So I see
Yeah.
where she's coming from. Like she's going to use this dark magic book for her benefit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
She thought it was gonna help her, but it just made her possessed.
yeah, so we're going to get there soon. But Bud finds out that they are actually working to perfect their abilities, and he is going to help them while not allowing the headmistress to find out, because pretty much then they're over at that point because she is a little bitch, to put it lightly. Swearing
Yeah.
Matthew, whenever he comes out on the podcast, you know it's bad.
It's okay. I cuss all the time, but not in front of my parents, obviously. They're
Yeah,
crazy about that
same.
shit.
But they don't listen to my podcast anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Wait, really? I thought they did.
Sometimes they do, but they honestly haven't listened in good 8 months. So
Yeah, that's good. Pretty good.
yeah, so I think I'm in the clear this time. But then we kind of get to see the Founders Day events where Reina will compete against Philip. And so somehow her powers are super duper strong. I wonder why. Wink, wink, because
Yeah.
she's using dark magic and she will represent the flares. However, Nori is like, I'm going to compete and I'm going to turn into a kitten. Well, she becomes this really like weird, like cat, dragon, boar hybrid thing. And
Yeah.
Reina has to use her to snap out of it. And it's so weird. And Nori almost gets hurt because her powers are so strong. I should say Reina's powers are so strong. So this is starting to get her into some trouble. This using the
Annoying.
dark
Yeah.
magic, because we're seeing her use the dark magic, and that is a something that you shouldn't be doing, you know? Like, is that like bad to like say, or
I mean, she wanted to try to prove to the whole school that they weren't bad. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I am kind of like torn between it right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. So this starts the storyline of Chandra, who is also a flare and is really encouraging and trusts in her abilities. I should say Reina's abilities. I never specify. I got to get better on that on the podcast. But so
It's
the
okay.
shadow magic books start appearing at where Reina goes, and Reina tells Chandra to take the book with her, but she takes it. But then it is found, or it reappears in Reina's room. So
Creepy.
we find out that Chandra is actually a shadow magic embodiment, and that she's basically imaginary, or she's not imaginary, but no one else can see her.
Oh my god.
So that's kind of creepy because you see this scene where Reina's talking to her and yelling at her, but there's no one there. So everyone's like, girl, what is going on with you?
Yeah, they thought she was crazy.
Yeah,
That
so
was just weird.
it's just weird. And they're like, what's going on with you? And so Chandra actually manipulates and possesses Reina And so Raina goes up to represent the Flares with her very powerful magic that she used dark magic to get to that point. And she becomes a shadow-like monster villain being thingy-majig.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the point of this part of the movie is careful what you wish for kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know how that feels when people say it because of the Ravens Home season 5 rumors, which we're not going to get into too much. But apparently, Nadia, Sky, Jason, and Annalise are leaving, so be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's take a hot second to talk about that because there has been some updates since our Ravensholm episode, and you were the Ravensholm guest. So obviously we just want to
Of
touch back up
course.
with them. So for anyone who hasn't been keeping up with the season 5 stuff, we're gonna get 2 to 3 more characters, which we kind of talked about in our last episode. However, we won't be getting Nia. Uh,
Yes.
Booker's gonna be there. Booker's gonna be
By
there, I think.
himself, like, why are they getting separated? The fuck, Disney?
Yeah, and then Sky won't be there, and Jason's character won't be there. Levi
That's sad.
and Annalise won't be there, right? Chelsea. So it's like everyone except for Booker and Raven. So no, thank you, Disney. I'm sorry. Just cancel it at this point.
Period. Or just make it a whole new show so I don't have to watch a
I
shitty season.
gonna present this idea. I talked about this with you. So apparently Raven's gonna be going back home with her dad and mom. What if they call it Raven's Back Home?
Oh yeah, I actually like that.
Because you still got the Ravens home. Like they can keep the same logo if they really wanted to, and then just like put the back on the side.
Of
It could
course,
work.
yeah.
So Disney, if you do it, I do expect royalties of $1,000+. So thank you.
Oh yeah, you better pay him.
What?
We try to
Okay.
give you.
What if they didn't like hear it from me, but they come up apparently quote unquote come up with it themselves? I still think that I should get some money.
Of course, we try to give them as many ideas as we can, but they just ignore us. They used to leave me on scene all the time. They're just rude.
Yeah, they no hate to them, but also kind of hate to them.
Of course, yeah.
Honestly, let's continue. So that's the update on Raven's home. But
Yep.
then after this incident, we kind of see that the UDMs are able to rescue Reina and return her to normal so that she can defeat the shadow magic that she pretty much awakened. So this whole thing is her fault. Hot take.
Raina's fault? Yeah, kind of. But it's also Chandra's fault too, so
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on,
a
to be
lot.
honest.
Yeah.
So from there, we get a final scene kind of going on where the UDMs are put into their classes. They're no longer separated, and Bud is the official Fuzzy, aka the furry teacher.
Yeah, I don't think there even was one before. So that's good for him.
Yeah, very interesting development in my opinion. However, you
Yep.
want to look at it.
Yes.
So, uh, but then we do get like a credit scene kind of where the shadow magic book falls off the shelf and opens up to a specific page and shows that logo, and now it's not fully defeated is kind of like the hint, and they're kind of hinting at a sequel if you ask me.
Yeah. They still need another DCOM for 2022 besides Zombies 3, so maybe they'll announce something soon. Because they announced the first movie in August 2019, so maybe August this year.
I would be down. Honestly, I wasn't originally like a huge fan of this movie, but I think that this could really go in the way it wants to if they tried for a sequel.
They should totally, and Isabella wants it to happen too. I think I have a video for saying something about it. Would I get copyrighted though?
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. So I'd love to see it.
Or I could try to play it if that would work. Do you think
If
that would
it would
work?
work, I think it should if you have like a video of it.
Yeah.
Or
I
even I
think I
could
do
link
here.
it too if you send me the link if you have one.
Yeah, did you just hear something?
No,
Because that was playing.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, let's see. Did you hear that?
No.
Shit. I guess
Just it's
background
okay.
noise. Okay.
But apparently she wants it. So,
Yeah, they better do it if they want more views or something or ratings. Depends.
yeah, I mean, the other thing that kind of scares me is if they make a sequel, are they going to be like, "Oh, the first one didn't do great, so let's not make another one."
Oh yeah. Some
That would
people
be
are
bad.
saying that it shouldn't get one, but I think it should.
I agree. I think it should. So,
Yeah.
uh now the real question is we got to rate this. But before we get there, because I haven't done fun facts in a like really long time, let's do some fun facts. So the first fun fact that I have is that Disney Channel bought the rights to this book in 2015 and started development in 2015. So that's a good
Really?
5 years before.
Oh shit.
So they had
So
been planning
five
this for a
years.
really long time.
Yeah. Maybe the books were written specifically so Disney Channel could do a movie because the books came out in 2015 too,
Yeah,
when they
very
started this.
interesting. Very interesting
Maybe,
if you
yeah.
ask me if the books came out that year and then was rebought that year, you know?
That would be really cool.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Um, so another fun fact that I have is that the school that all the stuff was shot at, the Shawnigan Lake School, which was used for Stage Academy, used actual students as the extras in the movie.
That's so cool, actually. I like that.
Yeah, I always want to be an extra in like a movie or TV show. I think that'd be super cool.
Yeah, I know. That would be really cool. I actually thought that was just like a set because in a studio, because they usually shoot things in a studio and not an actual building,
I know. I
right? Isn't
love
that
when
how
they
it is?
like, yeah, usually they are, but I love like schools that use real like
Yeah.
places, like actual real stuff. I don't know. That's my
Yeah,
personal favorite
same.
for me.
Did you
Um,
just hear something?
no.
Okay, good. Because I was just on Instagram and something accidentally played. I won't go on there right now.
You're
Sorry.
okay. You're totally fine.
Okay,
Where was I
good.
going? I was gonna say something else before.
About the
Uh,
school, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember. So we're gonna move on to the rating. So our rating usually is pretty um hard for me to do.
Same. I
Um
don't know what's rated.
I kind of was originally, if you asked me last year, probably would have gave this like a 2.
Oh
That's
my
so
God.
low, but I'm gonna probably give this a an 8. No, a 7. A 7 out of 10.
I was thinking that I'll give it a 7 too. Yeah.
It's good. It's really good in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
but there are like some things and it's some stuff that aren't my total favorite stuff. But I really respect this movie. It's one of my faves, and I am looking forward to hopefully a sequel. Because I think it would be so cool to kind of explore that rest of the stuff before we move on.
Yes. I really hope it does because I hate when DCOMs do cliffhangers but never do a sequel. Like, what the fuck? What's the point in that?
It's a waste of my time, in my opinion.
Exactly.
I mean, not saying I wasted my time watching this movie. I think I actually enjoyed it. But like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I really enjoyed it the first time I watched it and every time after that. So, yeah.
yeah. So shout out to all of those amazing actors and actresses and writers and stuff. because
Yes.
I really enjoyed this. And I'm sorry that I kind of hated on it last year.
It's okay.
But thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this episode of the podcast. I had a great time. Where can people follow
Same.
you and find your account, etc.?
Okay. Instagram at sparkling. The sparkling has a Q in it. So sparkling dot Ava with 3 A's. You can just put it in the
Yes.
notes.
And I will also put it in the show notes as well so that you guys can go follow and like and support all the things. And if you guys liked this episode of the podcast, I have so many others out. Go check them all out or leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. That would also be pretty cool. You can check out my website, that'smatthew.com, for all my fun stuff, merch, a link to every single episode and all the stuff in all the DCOMs in order so you can like find a good one that you want to listen to. I respect it. And I had one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, this is my last episode for July. So my next episodes will be for August. So stay tuned. We got some good stuff. Cadet Kelly, Ventures in Babysitting, Descendants 2 with, do you want to say who Descendants 2 is with?
Me. I can't wait.
I'm
I actually
excited.
started watching. Yeah. I watched it last night, actually.
I did not. I watched this movie and I finished it about 5 seconds before we started recording.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah, because
fast.
I started it, but I didn't finish it. I fell asleep last night because I
It's
got
okay.
home. I got home at about 1 a.m. and I started watching it and I didn't finish. I fell asleep. So I had to watch the second half again. But Descendants 2, and you also can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at That's So Matthew. I was able to change my Twitter username because whoever had That's So Matthew changed it. So I can finally get That's So Matthew on all platforms and also upload all my episodes to YouTube. I'm actually a couple weeks behind, but at the time that this comes out, I will be fully back in session. I hope you guys will listen to another episode again soon, and I'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.